Well, he's retired. He's got no rules anymore.
None. None whatsoever. I'm not even wearing pants.
Stand up.
I
No, no,
am.
please don't.
I am
Please don't.
standing. You're much better with rules than I ever was.
Uh, Jeff
Uh,
or me?
Both.
Well,
see,
Which isn't saying much.
I've had to become better with rules.
I like to surprise people. People say, "Oh, as a salesperson, you're just trying to sell." No, not always. Welcome to the Beast of Bourbon podcast with your hosts, Jeff,
Joe,
Mark,
and Riley.
each episode, we will discuss topics related to bourbon.
as well as anything else that pops into our head.
because after all, we don't know Jack.
On a more serious note, if you have a friend or loved one with a drinking problem,
Please know there are resources available to help you.
Always drink responsibly.
And welcome again to the Beasts of Bourbon podcast. I'm your host, Mark,
Joe,
and the other guys are mute.
Well, we could be muted, which a lot of people might consider after we
right.
keep doing this podcast. But I'm Jeff.
And I'm Riley.
I think we heard Joe.
What do you tell
I
her?
heard one Joe. Yeah.
I already said it before. I was
He
second.
did.
You weren't paying attention.
Not at all. I never
If
paid.
you're going to lead, you have to be focused, laser focused.
I don't look behind me when I'm leading.
Well, the problem is now that you've retired, your brain's turned to mush.
What happened way before that?
I was going to say, why did we?
Happened way before
All right.
That
that.
didn't just happen 6
It
weeks
might
ago.
it might accelerate it, but
Good
it
point by you both.
happened way before it.
So,
But anyway, thank you all for tuning in again. This is, I don't even know what number, episode 11, episode 12.
I
I
think
don't know.
this will be 12.
We
10
don't
ended
know.
up.
We don't count here.
Yeah,
Anyway, we're all grateful for
bourbon
you.
math, remember?
There's definitely bourbon math.
Well, and also the whole thing with starting with 0 just really throws me for a loop. I'm not very bright, as we've discovered.
Yeah. Not good with numbers. So thank you all for following, turning, subscribing, listening, joining us again. We're glad that you're keeping you entertained and hopefully a little educated also. We have another fun-filled show for you today. We do have our typical fun fact and a few other topics that we think you'll be interested in.
Are you ready for the fun fact?
Yes.
All right. What is John Wick's go-to bourbon?
Don't know.
We'll stay on with me and we'll answer it hopefully at the end of this one, or maybe it'll, if we drone on long enough and this becomes another two-parter,
Right.
you'll have to get the answer on the next one.
No, nobody wants you to drone on. Trust me.
John Wick. All right.
Well,
I'm
we
either gonna have
can
to read the
do.
books or watch the shows.
All right, Mark,
All
what
right.
have you presented us?
So we are going to discuss. I've created an infinity bottle also. It's inspired by my friend Joe. And again, I use the Only Drams app, which is quite handy for tracking these things. My bottle has, let's see, there are 16 varieties in there. It checks in at a healthy 100.8 proof.
Ooh,
There's only one duplicate in here, which is a Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond. I don't know why, but it just did. Amongst the ingredients here are the Whistle Pig Piggyback 6-year, Old Forester Statement Kentucky Straight, the Whistle Pig Rye 10-year, Eagle Rare 10, Knob Creek Single Barrel Bourbon, Bardstown Origin Series, Four Roses Single, Bimbit Tucker Classic 6-year-old, Michner Small Batch, Roan's Creek, Kentucky, Henry McKenna 10-year Bottled and Bond, two from St. Augustine Distillery. One is their port finish bourbon and their Florida straight bourbon. And the last one I topped this off was the Booker's February 2025 batch. That one had the highest proof. That was 126.5 proof.
boy, that's an eclectic group.
That won't.
I know you're
From the Taste Master.
From the Taste Master.
the
So another thing that was special about this too is that I was able to hand deliver two of the samples. like speedy delivery boy.
Yeah.
So what you probably really want to say is two of your favorites were hand delivered to, or the favorite people it was hand
Could
delivered.
say that. I could
Hmm.
also say I was too cheap to mail it.
Yeah. Well, and that would be illegal anyway, not that you would ever mail
No, no.
something like
So I didn't mail any of them.
that. Hmm.
One got shipped, I didn't mail it. And also, too, my infinity bottle's in this very, very nice decanter.
Ooh.
So it looks good. Hopefully it'll taste good too.
Are we ready to taste?
I
I
think
gotta
so.
pour it
I'm
first.
gonna cleanse my palate.
You guys,
Yeah,
I already poured because I wanted it to breathe.
very nice.
I already poured two. Been
It's a
nosing it.
darker amber combo.
Yeah, and so it
Yeah,
is.
it is.
I had the slightest bit of Kentucky hug.
Yeah, it's
Slight.
got a little spice there.
Yep, a little spice. It's got a little bit of a Kentucky cuddle, I'd say, more than a hug.
Yeah,
It's got a thickness to it.
it
Yep,
does.
very full mouthfeel.
Yeah.
It does.
And Joe,
But
I
and it's
agree
not
with you.
harsh.
It's
No.
not harsh, but it's definitely not as sweet.
Yeah, with all but such a high proof, I guess I was expecting
It's a
a
little
little
more bite.
something. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Definitely have a fair amount of vanilla on the aftertaste.
Yeah, I'm trying to pinpoint that. I'm getting a little bit of not sweetness, but a soft sweetness to it.
Mhm.
And maybe it is the vanilla.
That's good.
It is good.
It's interesting too, because I mean, Joe, you know from doing yours, you have no
Yeah.
idea how it's going to turn out.
Yep.
You know,
Actually, I have my second one is full now. My second infinity bottle.
now did you kill your first one already?
Yes, I did, and I think it ended up being a night that it may have killed me too.
Perfect. I like this.
Yeah, this is nice.
Yeah, it's almost I think my experience with infinity bottles are like, okay. This is interesting. Would I buy it as a would I buy it again as a standalone bottle, right? If
Yeah.
this came out of somebody's distillery, would I buy
Right.
it? I would buy this one.
Yeah.
That's a good way to tell if it's decent or not. Would
Yeah.
I buy this if it was poured for me at a restaurant or a store?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we're 2 for 2 on the infinity bottles.
Yes.
Riley, any thoughts about it?
Yeah, I'm getting maybe more spice on this one than previous bottles we've tried, like nutmeg maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely the baking spices. I
Hmm.
just I it literally it's going to take me half of the pour to really start to for it to open up on my taste buds. There's something wrong with my taste buds.
Maybe that's what happened with your infinity bottle that you kept saying, I need to taste it again
Yeah.
and again.
Yeah, no.
Again.
I thank you for giving me an out on that, Jeff, but
Trying to be a help.
yeah, unfortunately, no. That was not.
That's what longtime friends do for one another, theoretically.
So
Yeah, the
Joe,
problem is if I sit at the table, at night and we're talking, and the bottle's there, I have to have a timer of when I need to get up and move to the couch because then the bottle's not sitting right next to me anymore. So it's easy to pour, whereas if I'm on the couch and I have to get up,
that is true.
I thought I
much
had bad
lazier.
discipline.
Again,
Really?
getting more steps in, Joe. I like your strategy. It's all
Well,
about the steps.
it's one
So
of my
this is
strengths is I know my weaknesses.
this is like the first decent weekend we've had here this year so far
In New England?
in New
Tell
England.
us
Yeah.
tell us more.
How would you know?
Riley, would you say like 75 where you are?
I was going to say, isn't this like the second weekend you've been home since mid-February?
The man has a point.
All right. Anywho, this will be definitely something enjoyed on the front porch
Ah,
or by the fire pit
Good,
nice.
because
good.
it's going to be that kind of weather.
Send pictures.
I shall. I always do. I did not subscribe to the premium edition of Only Drams, so I can't add another infinity bottle at the same time this one's going. So my plan is that I'll kill this one, then I'll start a
Well,
new.
you know what you can do is this is basically what I did. What I was going to do is just delete it. I mean, it's not like as you pour stuff out, as you do pours, I mean, really at that point, who cares? It's
Hmm.
not going to change the proof. It's not going to change anything on the one you're emptying. So you just delete all that and start over again.
Well, I'm going to delete it from this too.
Or you can screenshot it
Right,
and then
right. That's
save
probably
it.
what I'll do. Because I still have a couple of bottles I haven't opened yet.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you have a whole wing of that.
I as much as we know how much I love and adore my wife, and I do, I've been getting teased over the past several weeks about having a lot of bourbon in the closet, in the
That's
cabinet inside, and then outside. And then I'm in the garage yesterday and I'm looking at the wine rack. And then I was looking at the refrigerator and there were 8 or 12 bottles of wine. And I was like, well, time out here.
what
Did you
what's too much? What defines too much?
yeah.
Yeah.
How many I have? Say you
Right?
think, honey, you think I have a problem.
Well, maybe we
We
both
know
have a problem.
somebody who has a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta
Maybe
admit, when I counted the other night, because somebody asked me how many I had at work, uh, not how many bottles of bourbon I have at work. Somebody from work asked me how many bottles
got
of
it.
bourbon I had, and I said, I don't know. And I took an estimate, and then I counted that night, and I was like, and that number I gave you guys, that's just different bourbons. There's some that I have
Yeah,
backups.
duplicates.
So,
Well,
um,
heaven forbid, a bottle breaks.
yeah, or yeah,
Or you run out.
yeah, or I can't get out for a couple days.
Yeah.
Right.
You never know when the snow is bad in
They don't
Texas.
deliver this stuff to you.
Well,
I think
actually, they
it's
do.
a matter of perspective on your storage ability too.
Yeah, there's
Right.
not much room left.
I mean, Joe has a whole wing of the house.
Yeah, well,
Riley has a countertop.
I would I could keep some at the second house if it was a little closer. Now that
Well,
I'm
I
a
am
Maybe you could
considering
just turn
not
that into it.
keeping.
Maybe you could just turn that into storage.
yeah, now
Right.
that I'm a real estate tycoon.
Hey, I think we were going to talk about the beginner bourbons. Maybe you want
Yes.
to segue to that?
Yeah.
Fred's tell us about that, Jeff. And how far have you gotten on the book?
You mean the book that's sitting there that I haven't opened yet?
Oh, good.
I'm not very good about opening books. Anyway, that's a whole
Well,
nother story.
I would
Well,
suggest
that was
also
I
too
seem to
for
remember that back in college.
yeah, right. Seriously, that could be equal part all of us. I would suggest, Jeff, also before you kick into it, try to explain to some folks who Fred Minnick actually is.
Well, you know what? I'm going to defer on that because I don't know his history as well as maybe one of you do.
Joey, give it a
But
shot.
yeah, please.
All right, so he started off as a wine writer. Actually, he went to Oklahoma State. I believe he's from Oklahoma.
Is that where Jerry Jones went? Did he fund Fred's bourbon?
No, Jerry Jones went to Arkansas.
Oh, right. Right.
So he did
Sorry.
not go to
Sorry, universities. I apologize.
no. And I believe after he was in the military, he ended up settling with Wisconsin, uh, met a woman from Louisville who dated long distance, and he decided to move there. They got married. He was, like I said, he was a wine writer, and then got into bourbon and started. He was the way the book writes in the book that he was, he's making a decent living as a freelance wine writer, going to all these wine events and then he decided, you know what? I really don't have the passion for that. I have it for bourbon. And really, I mean, writing about liquor doesn't seem like much of a career change. But when anytime you make a change in your livelihood isn't as lucrative as it was. There's some risk. So, but he went with his passion. So now he's known as he's kind of like Mr. Bourbon in Louisville in Kentucky. And he wrote that book that I don't have right close to me. But Jeff, why don't you? I think it's bottom shelf, isn't it?
There it is.
Nice.
So it was interesting. So anyway, we're following him on his Facebook page on our Facebook page, and he had a video of his five starter bourbons. So you can see that on YouTube if you'd like to watch. It's about 15 minutes, so it's pretty short. But his so basically these are bourbons for somebody that wants to get into bourbon that he suggests you try. Um, and his five are Michener's 6 year, Four Roses small batch, one of our favorite distilleries, Evan Williams bottled in bond, which we need to talk about that later on. Woodford Reserve and Maker's Mark. So, so these are five that he suggests that if you want to get into bourbon or you're early in getting into bourbon, that you try. They're less expensive. I think they're all under $30 or under.
Right. I would say they're probably all under 30.
Yeah.
No, I think the isn't the Michner's much more? And the reason I say that, so you know, one of you sent out the, hey, let's discuss this on the next podcast. And so literally I just sat at my desk here and thought, okay, what would I recommend to somebody? You know, like what are the two or three bourbons that I'd recommend? And recalled that a couple of years ago, someone I know was moving into a new apartment and they didn't really have a bar. And they were asking, they knew that I cared about bourbon a little bit. And so I thought about what was the number one bottle that I recommended right away. I thought about that, and I'll give you my answer in a minute. And then I thought, well, what else would I recommend? So, the first one I came up with, which I had recommended to this person a couple years ago, was Maker's Mark. And as it turns out, it's on his list. The second bottle that I wrote up was Woodford. Again, this was just me. I didn't want to be influenced by any one article, YouTube video by you guys. So I just kind of drafted it myself. The third one for me, nobody here is going to be surprised if I say that the third bottle was High West. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Broken record.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I know. Shocker. Um, and really, those are three, in my very humble opinion, very great starters, all within about $40 or less, especially the Maker's Mark. You can usually get at at a place that buys in volume, you can usually get it for 25 or $30. It's a great bottle to start with.
Yeah, as far as Maker's Mark, and I think you got a good list, Jeff. Um, I've got a couple bottles of Maker's Mark, and it's not one that I think of right away was, oh, it's bourbon night. I'm gonna have Maker's Mark. And it's interesting because when I see it in there, I'm like, you know what? Time to pull it out every couple months. And there's sometimes I pull it out and it's like, uh, I'm not so much. And then the next time I pull it out and it's like, you know what? This is a really nice bourbon. So I guess it just depends on where my headspace is, but it's definitely you've got a great list.
For me, again, and this is probably not uncommon for a lot of folks. First bourbon I ever drank was Jack Daniels. I mean, again,
Yeah.
that wasn't like an educated drink. I just drank it, or I had it in like Jack and Coke or something like that. That was the
Or
first bourbon.
Jello,
What?
or Jello.
Maybe, maybe, but that was why waste good Jello?
Well, we
But that
did.
was
I
my
did.
first taste of bourbon. I was like, okay, I'll drink this because I can't get a beer, so I'll have the Jack. Um, and then Jim Beam was another one early on. Um, and Jim Beam was probably the first one I had by itself, not as a mixed drink. And again, I wouldn't say it's something I would go and order now. Um, but back then, I was like, all right, it's not rat poison. I can handle this. And for the longest time, I mean, I didn't start really getting into bourbon until maybe what, 10 years ago, maybe, Joe, when we started going to the lake, 12 years
I
ago.
think that night that you almost fell into the fire pit
Well, that's a whole nother, that's another
was
episode.
that seven? It might have been 2017.
But the bourbon I had there was Bullet.
Yeah.
Huh.
And that was really the first bourbon I like, oh, all right, this has some complexity to it, a little bit more flavor to it. And I started to think about bourbon a little bit more than just having a drink. And that was really the one I kind of took off with. And then Jeff, like to your point again, the Maker's Mark, the Woodford, that's kind of where I led after that. But I would say Bullet was really the first one that kind of turned me into thinking more about Bullet, thinking more about the complexities of bourbon itself and what goes into it and the whole process. And yeah, that for me that was it.
Yeah.
Riley?
Um,
Oh, my beginner bourbon?
Yeah.
I mean, this list covered the one that I would probably say, Makers, but I think to add one that's a little different, and it's like a little higher in price point, but maybe Angel's Envy. Everybody
Mm,
who I've suggested that to, who's not usually a bourbon drinker, really likes it. I think it's a solid
yeah, that is a good
starter.
one. I hadn't thought. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think I
was,
would have thought of
it's
that.
funny, Riley, I thought about that, that would be a good one. And but I thought the same thing. I thought for the price, someone might be a little bit hesitant to want to spend that kind of money. But Angel Envy is a very nice bourbon
yeah.
and a great distillery tour, as we've talked
Yeah, that was
about
cool.
in the past.
Yep, that was cool.
All
You
right.
know,
So I got three,
yeah. What
Joe,
were
how about
yours, Jim?
you?
and I actually was strategic on this, because I want to be May Employee of the Month. So the three I thought one that's a little more high rye, one that's a little more less spicy, and a weeded. So my first one, Bullet, thanks to Mark. Everybody can see that I'm pointing to you on the screen.
I feel pointed at.
Yes. So that was the one that
Are you feeling okay about being pointed at, Mark? I want
Yeah,
because
well,
because
I did it's a hand point, so that's more of a it's
yeah.
a lot
It's not
softer.
this
Yeah,
and it's
it's a
not
lot,
yeah, I
that.
mean because
softer.
we can have HR join the call
Yeah.
No, I
and
actually feel empowered by the point.
That's why we keep HR in Fernwood, Ohio.
Right.
So they're nowhere near us.
They don't work weekends anyway.
No. So yeah, Bullet is a little spicier, but that was the one that like you, I mean, it's probably the first bourbon I had was Jack Daniels, and I was more of a whiskey person until that lake trip when I think we finished off about three-quarters of that bottle. I've got the picture somewhere. I seem to recall you telling me at some point that after that night you didn't drink bourbon for about 3 months.
Easy. It was probably through the whole rest of the summer into the
Yeah.
fall.
Um, uh, Unfortunately, I can say that I probably drank bourbon like the next weekend. Um, and I began wanting to earn Employee of the Month for May. Bullet runs about $24 for 750. My second one, and this is the one that um, really got me into bourbon and Woodford Reserve. This one I really like so much, and so that was a go-to. Bullet was kind of like my standard, but Woodford was like, all right, this is when I'm going out, and
Yeah.
this is more of a uh, celebratory bourbon. So Woodford Reserve runs about $28, and it is the bourbon of the Kentucky Derby, which was recently.
True.
And then my third in a weeded, and and we've talked about this one. It's about $36 a bottle. Green River weeded.
Uh, yep.
That's such a
ah,
nice bourbon.
wow, I would never have come up with that.
So,
Now,
again, and when someone's getting into bourbon, you don't want them spending. I mean, there's
right.
obviously this stuff that you can say, oh, buy Widow Jane or buy, that Lazy K bar, or whatever the one that the guy
Mm,
from Yellowstone is affiliated with, and that runs about $100 a bottle, and it's
right, right.
outstanding. But
Right.
not everybody's going to spend that kind of money the first time they're trying bourbon.
Right.
So,
So
those
Jeff
are
and
my three.
Riley, I have a question for you regarding that. Can you readily find Green River where you guys are?
It's a good question. Let me go to the intertubes and see what
Just curious,
transpires.
like if even like just walking around, like shopping, have you seen
Yeah,
it?
that's a good question, Mark, because it's not at Total Wine here in North
Huh.
Texas. So I got it at that Lucky's Liquors, which is it's the neighborhood liquor store. Um, and they get a lot of really nice stuff. That's where I got that one that I texted you guys the picture of last
Right.
night that saving for. Um, I'm saving that one. I'm not going to open that just
But
yet.
that's the other thing too, Joe. Like if you want to try to help someone get down the bourbon path, i.e., give them something that's decent but also accessible too.
Yeah.
If you're telling me about this one bottle and they can't find it, we're like, fuck, I
Yeah.
gotta have a PBR.
Well, that's why
Yeah.
I was going to put Buffalo Trace on it, just because if it's Buffalo Trace is very affordable bourbon, and everybody wants Buffalo Trace just because of the distillery. But and I don't know about for you guys, it was very hard to find um, here until about 4 or 5 months ago.
I would say the same.
Buffalo
Yep.
Trace or
Yeah,
Yes.
Green River? Really?
Yep.
Buffalo Trace. Yeah,
In my head, thankfully, thanks to United Airlines, I see Buffalo Trace all the time.
Do you?
yeah.
So,
They
yeah,
offer it?
that's what they offer up on board. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
But I do find Buffalo Trace a whole lot more, like say, like what Joe said over the past half year or so, in stores and restaurants. It's a lot more available.
Interesting.
So,
I'm going to take a slightly different tact now that we've all put forward our bottles. A different tact on Bullet. I haven't had Bullet bourbon in years, and I found the bourbon to have more spice than their rye.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know.
Huh.
And to the point where if that was all I could have, I would order the bourbon rye. Sorry,
The
the
bullet rye.
bullet rye versus the bullet bourbon because I prefer the rye. I'm gonna
Huh.
go now I feel like I must do a taste test at a local bar somewhere.
I really,
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing
Yeah.
because I've never had their rye.
Yeah, it's been years. I need to try it again, but there was just something about the bullet bourbon that it just didn't work for me.
Mm,
But again, I'm gonna, and since you guys know that when I travel for work, and I always ask for, is there a local bourbon?
right.
I think I just need to saddle up to a bar and just ask for give me a bullet rye, give me a bullet bourbon, and do some taste testing.
And you
well,
just put it down as research.
well,
Yeah.
let's do a little. Why don't we do a little behind the scenes for our
We could do
40
that because
listeners?
bullet's pretty available everywhere.
Yeah.
Totally.
What if we do it on the next episode? What if we do a tasting?
I'm going to write that down.
Put that
Or
on the show notes.
I was going to say show notes. I'm looking at show notes. Type it
Yeah.
in there for.
So we'll do
Anyway, yeah,
let's do a tasting.
All right.
yeah. And on Makers, I think the thing that I love about Makers is that it is readily available, and so you can travel anywhere, and I wouldn't say the globe, but certainly anywhere in the U.S. And if you're in a place where there is bourbon inside of a supermarket, which some states allow, some
Mhm.
don't, Makers is pretty available. And I think I've told
Yeah.
you all the story of going to visit my family in Houston, and my first stop would be at Specs, and I'd pick up a bottle of Makers, and that was something that I did. That's something I still do when I travel. I don't really feel like I need to buy a very expensive bottle if I want something for the hotel room. If I know it can't be handed off to somebody. So if I'm visiting family, I can hand off a bottle that's a little bit more
Right.
expensive for somebody in the family to enjoy because I can't bring it on the plane with me. Um, Whereas if I, just I'm there, I'm someplace for a week, a bottle of Makers goes a long way.
The
I saw
Maker's
makers in Italy.
46. Go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
I saw makers in Italy.
Oh
Really?
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You
Makers
sent me
from
a
Four
bottle of
Roses.
Maker's 46, Mark, and I thought that was very, very good.
Oh, I bet that would be.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was good. I think I tasted that outside the US as well.
Now, going back to Fred's list, I'm curious about everybody's thoughts about the Evan Williams bottle and bond.
all right. Full disclosure, who those have not seen some of our early episodes, when we did the Bourbon Trail, uh, Mark, Jeff, and I, a couple years ago, we the second stop was Evan Williams, and we didn't enjoy the tour and we didn't enjoy the bourbon. Bring it up. I was talking to somebody at work the other day, and I didn't know he was into bourbon, and he didn't know we had a podcast, so um, we talked for a little while and missed a meeting talking about bourbon, and but he likes Evan Williams. He brought up Evan Williams as far as like he thinks it's a great mixing bourbon. So you know what? I think that's one we need to maybe that's another tasting
That we
down the road
revisit.
that we just, you know what, we're gonna all go out and get a bottle of Evan Williams and give it one more shot.
But I would suggest we get the bottled and bond
Yes.
because Evan Williams makes a bunch of different products, obviously.
Well,
So
yeah,
let's
we
get the
probably
bottled
should
and
all taste
bond.
the same thing.
Right.
I'm gonna find a bar. I'm gonna find a bar, a local bar, and I will taste it again. I think that, excuse me, part of my issue of having overflowing cabinets and storage in bourbon is because I buy a bottle, I taste it and go, meh. And then I say to somebody, somebody in the family who might mix it, like, hey, if you want to mix something, use
Yeah,
that bottle,
use that
right?
for an old fashioned.
Yeah, please
Or
feel free.
what you
So,
could do is see if they go to Specs, which has a big variety, and see if they've got the airplane bottles of it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
So very good.
Yeah, I
So
thought
what's
the list
the
was
what's the answer to the fun fact, Joe?
Oh, the fun fact. John Wick. And if you haven't seen the John Wick movies, you need to watch the John Wick movies. Those are great. Um, his go-to bourbon is, according to the interweb, it's the bourbon that the toppers are
Blanton's?
the horse race. Yes,
No
Blanton's.
kidding. Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
I didn't either actually, and I've seen all the movies. I Googled it.
are the movies good?
Do you like Everybody Dies movies?
On occasion.
Everybody Dies,
Okay.
but John Wick. And then his kind of his semi-mentor, Winston, um, he says to him at one point, I use this at work with people, being in accounting, and we have rules. Winston says, there are rules, Jonathan. Without them, we live with the animals. That goes
Well, I
that goes
yeah.
over well, especially with salespeople.
Someone call? Sorry, I wasn't listening to what you were talking about. I heard salesperson. I
I'm
figured
used
So
you
I
to
were
guess I live with the animals now.
I Yeah, I've not seen the John Wick movies. Is that Keanu Reeves?
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to confuse those with the Jack Reacher movies, which were Tom Cruise, which I enjoyed the first one. Second one was okay.
All right,
So,
we're going down a rabbit hole, and I'm okay with that because I'm a big Jack Reacher fan.
and Rabbit Hole is a very good bourbon. It's a
It is a very good
high-end
bourbon.
Ah, there
bottle.
we go.
That is one of my bottles of bourbon.
Someone gave that to me as a gift years ago, like pre-COVID. And, I was just like, oh wow, this is a really good bottle. And, I would drink it up over the course of time. we went out to dinner with another couple, and I was like, "Oh, you have rabbit? Oh, I would love some of that." I had to end up saying to the people we were dining with, "I'm so sorry. Let me make sure I pay for this, for this taste." I had no idea how expensive a bottle it was.
I'm trying to remember how much I paid for the bottle I got. It wasn't crazy, crazy. I want to
Really?
say it was like 60 maybe.
Oh, well
Oh,
then this might have been a different bottle at the
Yeah, I mean,
restaurant.
yeah,
Yeah,
they've
it
got a
was an
ton.
expensive, it was an expensive pour. Where and then I want to say in the past year, my wife and I went out to dinner, and I saw a bottle up on the shelf, and as I call it, I like to go shopping at a
yep,
bar.
yep.
Like, oh, what do you have? I don't want to. I can read the list. It's not as fun, but okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I took the pour. My eyes bulged when the bill came, and my very smarter than me significant other said, "You might want to ask in the future, like if it bothers you to pay that much for a pour, you might want to ask in the future before they pour." And it's like, oh,
Yeah,
this is why we're married.
I've
Did
heard that
you
once or twice.
did you enjoy it?
I did, but now right this second, I don't know that without consulting my notes that I could tell you what it was.
Fair enough.
But I'm enjoying this infinity bottle. If you want to
Good,
bottle it.
Yeah,
good. I'm
no,
glad.
I I'm past tense on enjoying. I have enjoyed.
Wow,
Very nice. I'm
day
still
drinker.
enjoying
Well, we practiced that back at the Q. We didn't
Darby's
call we didn't call it day drinking. We didn't call it a darty. We just called it drinking.
drinking, just drinking.
Here is something that the older generations can teach the younger generations.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We
Riley,
didn't need
did they use that term darty when you were at school?
Oh yeah. Listen, that's innovation. Coming up with fun new terms. Come on.
we
come
didn't
on,
need
you
A new
to.
term
kids,
for old things,
get off my lawn.
right? Literally, get off my lawn.
Damn it,
But leave the beer.
you pesky kids.
So we have homework for the next episode. We're going to taste bourbon versus rye, and possibly do a taste test of the Evan Williams.
Bottled
Okay.
and bond.
Yeah,
Bottle and
that
bond.
I
sounds
think we
like
have to get the precise the bottle that was
Bottle and bond.
recommended.
Yes.
if we're gonna drink that much.
Yeah,
It might be later in
we
the
know
day
it's a
when we
problem
do
for you.
this.
Yeah, we know it's a problem for you, Joe.
Well, you know what my suggestion's been.
I'm
Do we
afraid
do
to
like
ask you to remind us.
Right.
we do like a 2 hour episode where we just get shit faced. And then
Wow.
then
I
let,
can-
Wait. How many subscribers do we have? Do we want
Yeah.
to lose them all?
or we could go viral.
Oh my God, right?
Right. Right.
Riley could be our DD.
We'd probably lose one of the four of us during a 2 hour episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd
We'll
probably
see it.
start texting people.
we'll see what. Well, that might be fun. We'll see what Mixmaster Riley could do with that.
I know.
Well, on that note, we thank everybody for joining us. Oh
Yeah.
wait, did you give your answer to
Yes,
the
Blanton's. We talked
the
about
land.
Jack
That's
Reacher.
fine.
You
Have some
were a
more.
big fan of
I
Jack
was trying to
Reacher.
follow. I was trying to
I was
follow the
gonna
outline.
I was gonna tell you that I thought Tom Cruise did a really good job as Jack Reacher, even though he's short, whereas Jack Reacher in the books is about 6'5".
Well, and then there was the Jack Reacher streaming version with the big guy.
Yeah,
Right.
and which is
So-
outstanding.
Look, I'm just following the outline. You guys always yell about do your homework, follow the outline. I was doing that, and you're right. You had told us the fun fact. What can I say? You should take away my employee of the month for
Well, it
April.
was for April, so you just didn't get it in May. Plus,
Yeah.
as the listeners don't know,
I think we're giving it to Riley.
you were 15 minutes late.
I was. I'm a very busy, important person, at least in my own mind.
Keep reminding us.
Yeah.
Again, thank you everybody for
Thank you,
tuning in.
everyone.
Appreciate all your support, and we'll see you again on the next episode.
Enjoy a pour
Thanks,
tonight.
guys.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Be well, everybody.